Welcome back into another episode of Slightly Serious.
I'm Nick.
I'm Zane, and thank you guys for coming back. It's week 2.
It is week 2. I have headphones on this time.
I do as well. We did have some audio issues from the first week, so as a preventative measure, we've done some more testing today, made sure things are a little more even, but we also are monitoring it a little bit more hands-on today. I've got the actual mix station next to me, monitoring levels directly, headphones, mic's actually in his face today. A lot of different things. But how you doing today, bro?
I'm all right, dude. I'm so fucking tired. I just got done from Wadsworth Skate Park.
Skate park?
Yep. It was
Hell
fun.
yeah.
It's a good time.
Did you land a kickflip?
I did not.
You didn't kickflip?
I tried. My flip tricks are subpar. I love the rail. I was able to get in the flat rail. I was able to get in a curved rail. I was able to get in angled rail.
Kickflips. So like, are you actually a skater? If Tony Hawk can't
I'm a
roll up and
poser,
tell
bro.
you to kickflip and you
I'm
can't
a
kickflip?
poser. No, dude. So like, my ankles are trash. No, I have no excuse. I need to work on my flip tricks. I'm really good at grinding. I was doing
Even
wall
I
rides.
can kickflip.
I heard that you.
I kick it
flip.
and then I flip on my face.
Yeah.
Usually.
It's the opposite of the way that you're supposed to do it. And I like that about you. You've always had that indirect approach. Which is great.
Absolutely.
But yeah, no, I'm just fucking tired, man. I just overdid it. A few
But
scrapes.
is it overdoing it if it's something you enjoy though?
No, I love it. You're right. I mean, I'm just going to be tired at work tomorrow. I'm not going to want to do anything.
When are you not tired at work? When is any of us not
I was
tired
in
at work?
a great mood at work today. Dude, I was so full of fire. I drank a pint of horse semen as I do every morning when I wake up.
As I'm about to take a drink now, I don't even want to drink this. As I'm about to take a drink, a pint of horse semen.
Yeah, it's
Fucking weird.
it gives you the tools to be your own boss.
Does it?
I don't know.
Or is
I
it the
don't even know
hallucinations that
anymore.
come from it?
I don't even know anymore, man.
Hell yeah. Yeah, man, it's been a week. We
You
we
almost
did see the
didn't
people
wanna do
that we people downloading and watching the first week episode. We do appreciate it. I had plenty of people give us their opinions on the episode, things they'd like to see, things they saw that wanted to point out to us. So again,
I appreciate any feedback. I cannot.
all the advice was lovely to hear. Other than anything criticizing me in any way, shape, or form, fuck you. I'm just kidding. I love you. But no, it was definitely cool to see.
Yeah.
And so like we took into that consideration. I'm not wearing all gray, half gray, black. Took the hat off. Apparently people didn't like the hat in my face. My bad. I'll find a beanie. I'm not really one to not have a hat on, so like it's weird. I feel naked.
Yeah.
But no, we're definitely gonna take into consideration a lot of the stuff we heard. There was some people pointing out that like when we were looking stuff up, I know it kind of comes across as some dead air, and like we didn't have images on for the video viewers.
It's true.
Something that I'm working on learning to do. Well, if I can pull it off for this episode, I will. If we do look up anything that we need to do that. Otherwise, it's something that I'm working on learning. Still learning how to do editing and stuff like that. But as we learn, more features like that will come. Excuse me. Hopefully the editing quality in general, production quality in general, continues to improve as we get better at doing this.
That's the goal.
Yeah, absolutely. But I see you have a new book with you.
I do.
So you had like something like Veronica Wants to Die or some shit last week?
So last week I was reading Veronica Decides to Die.
Decides to Die. So we talked about it. That was part of the audio thing. So like a lot of that conversation didn't come through. But that was that Veronica Decides to Die. You were working on that
Paulo
book.
Coelho, who did base the book on many aspects of his life. He might have changed the character's sexes around a little bit to kind of like...
I need to apologize because I do at the beginning of the conversation call
Assume it's a
him
woman.
Assume it's a woman. So, and part of that was because I was reading the back of the book, was talking about Veronica, and then you said based off of their life. So I was
Yeah.
like, oh, it's the girl that wrote this.
So-
Then. And then you're like, no, he did. I was like, I sound like a dick.
Yeah.
So I know you're totally listening to this. I apologize for misgendering you.
I am so sure that Paulo Coelho is like, this is his number one priority to check our podcast out. But no, it was
Everyone tag him on X or Twitter or whatever it is. Tag him. Tell him to come on the show.
It was a really good book. I liked it. I think I rated it an 8.9. A lot of times, like I'll just give things out of 10 rating after I'm done reading them, and it's just kind of
Out of 10 what?
Like 10 being the best. Like
yeah, but like people like book. It's like 10 points, 10 stars, 10 bags of dicks.
Like, 10 whole bags of dicks. Yeah,
but so it was 8.9.
They're like Danny DeVito's. You know, I would never give him a whole bag of long dongs.
All right.
Yeah, but regardless, I got like 8.9, I think is what I put it. And then this week I'm reading House of Leaves by Mark Z. Danielewski. I believe I'm pronouncing that right. Now, I've never read this before. I've heard about it. It is unsettling just to flip the pages of it, because as you're flipping the pages of it, it goes from something that's typeset to something that is then a footnote at the bottom, and then the footnote starts to become the story. And then before you know it, you're just reading footnotes, and then there's only, a page will sometimes only have one word on it. Sometimes all of a sudden you're reading a play. The next minute, the whole page is filled with X's. It's unsettling so far, and you're not quite sure what you're reading, but the general premise of it is about a house that is larger on the inside than it is on the outside. And that's really all I'm going to give you. But there's so much more to it than that.
Yeah, this is coming from a guy who seems to have read maybe a tenth of it so far. So he'll be back with more of a synopsis next time.
Absolutely.
That whole description of the entire book is based off of 20 pages.
What have you been up to?
Just working, man. And trying to not let the bullshit that life throws at you get you down too much. I've been struggling with that. So, as you guys probably see, the video viewers, we had promised new chairs.
We did.
And I worked hard to try to find a good deal on the chairs that we wanted to get. I still don't want to list exactly what kind of chairs we were going to get, because I still want to get them and have it be a surprise. Mm-hmm. But to put it in a more generic way, I found the kind of chairs we wanted for a cheaper price than most places. Should have been flag number 1. So I was like, hell yeah. I checked the site. There was a bunch of products. There was reviews and shit. I Googled the company. Things came up, Google certified links, things like that. I was like, all right, should be a legit place to get some stuff. I bought the 2 chairs and was kind of excited. I messaged Nick. I was like, yo, they're ordered. They're coming. We're pumped. We're excited. They're going to be here in time for the episode. Thursday came around. Email delivered. Beautiful. I was home between shifts. I was back in town, so I was like, I can grab the boxes, put them inside, make sure that they're inside, ready to go.
Mm-hmm. And I remember you actually at one point texted me or Snapchatted me or something saying like, package, did someone order so-and-so?
Yeah, like I was like a little joke thing with him, and I was like, yo, like everything's good. Like we were like excited, like just keeping the energy high for it. And I get home Thursday. I stop in here at the house to put them inside before I pack up and get ready to go back out. There's no boxes. So I'm like, it's weird. Chair boxes should be pretty big, should be pretty easy to see. Double checked front porch, back porch, all around the house. Nothing. So I double check on the site, on the email. Sure enough, says delivered. Shipping address, billing address are both my address. I was like, all right, so where's my stuff? So I pull the tracking number, go on to USPS. Another red flag. No one mails with the actual postal service anymore. Find the tracking number. It says it was delivered in a whole other state.
Tennessee or something, right?
It was New Jersey, which is, we're not in New Jersey.
No, we're not. So
I was like, why the hell was it delivered there when I'm clearly in a different place? I double checked the billing address. Mailing address was my address. So things are wrong. So I reach out to the company like, hey, product was delivered to the wrong place. I would like to either get the new product shipped to me or get the refund. I get an automated email back saying, we received your request. Here's your request number. We'll reach back out to you in the next couple business days to figure out a solution to your problem. So that was, again, Thursday night. Friday, don't hear anything. I'm at work, kind of not really paying too much attention because I'm trying to focus on work. Then the weekend hits. Didn't expect to see anything. Then Monday hits. Nothing. I also wake up Monday to $500 in fraudulent charges being charged to my account from some crypto site.
Trying to buy Bitcoin, hit the surge. Probably made like $2 or $3 grand off the money they stole from you, I'm sure. But
yeah, but I mean, it didn't say it was Bitcoin directly. It just said it was the site.
Yeah,
was like a crypto trading site in general. So I was like, that's not me. So I call my bank, get that taken care of. They lock it down. Now I'm currently can't access my stuff while they work on getting my the fraud stuff figured out. But then I go back to follow up on the claim for the missing package. The site doesn't even exist anymore. The site I ordered the chairs from no longer even exists. So
my theory is that they are the same people that they took your chairs, and then they also, with your account information, took your money.
Yep. So,
and now they don't exist.
Yeah, so it's going to be kind of hard to do much about it. I'm still going to fight with my bank to at least get the money back for, fraudulent stuff. So I have all the proof of order and all that and saying that they were delivered when nothing was ever given to me. But other than that, yeah, that's how.
But what a pain in the ass, a couple $100 for some chairs that you really wanted and we were looking forward to, and then another $500-$600.
And my bank account's now locked.
Now your
my bank card's
locked.
down. I have to wait for a new card, wait for the fraudulent charges to be, because they have to be investigated, confirmed to be fraudulent, and then refunded.
Mm-hmm. And you're also having car trouble too, aren't you, right now?
Yeah, my truck's been acting up. I worked on it all day the past 2 days. Got it running, but it's still not running right. So yeah. But then it's hard to get parts for a car when you don't have access to funds.
Yeah. So it's a rough spot right now.
Yeah, it's been interesting.
And you're adjusting to living alone. You've got this house now. It's a relatively large house. You're here by yourself. Everybody can come and molest you at their will, and there's nothing you would be able to do about it. And you're having a hard time coping with living alone. And but on a real note, it's not a molestation thing. It's just you're used to living with someone else, aren't you?
I mean, roughly 6 out of the last 7 years.
It's a long time.
Mm-hmm. And I said, that's most of my 20s,
mm-hmm.
which is that's when you're really learning to be an adult. And I learned a lot of that with somebody. And that's with somebody who, good and bad of them, that they are much more set up as an adult.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. Better career, always handled financials better, always was better at just making sure cooking. I suck at cooking. I'm learning to cook again because I didn't do a lot of the cooking. So I'm having to learn to cook. Just getting more into realizing that everything in the house is now my responsibility, and there's not a shared load, as much as I really, looking back, didn't do my part in a lot of those years.
I'm sure,
but still now it's all on me, and it also sheds a lot of light on the stuff that I wasn't doing for those 6 years.
Yeah,
you can have my opinion in the moment. You're oh, just. They didn't like this and they were being too hard about this, but then hindsight hits you and you're or maybe I was a fucking dick. So like I said, I'm not, neither of us was perfect, but it said that 6 or 7 years of my life where if shit went wrong, I had somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't come home to an empty house.
There, yeah.
And until we started working on this studio and shit, half this house was just empty for months.
Yeah, it was.
And it's just recently where I've started to get shit together. I have the studio room together, the storage room next door and stuff. And the downstairs is starting to come together, but that's a lot of laundry and shit at the moment. But but like I'm trying to get my life back together on top of it, but then I just get like smacked by this shit.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
Do you feel like you have any bad karma?
I don't think it's karma.
Do you believe in karma?
I do believe in karma. There's also something my family calls the foo,
Okay,
which is just kind of like the it's like an energy, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just like kind of how like it was like almost like a joke that we kind of just ran with at one point, where it's just kind of the energy around our lives, and like my dad always said that we get through our shit and like shit works out for us because of the foo. We have the foo, and like no one knew what foo was, but we just ran with it. But it's just one of those things where it's like you're gonna have times, but it's remembering that this part will pass in the grand scheme of things. This is a minor setback. I'm still blessed to be even where I'm at, to the point where like, yeah, I'm not going to like, it's a rough patch, but I'm not worried about being homeless.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not worried about how I'm going to eat or where I'm going to eat. Like I can figure that part out. So I'm still blessed to be where I'm at, but it's still fucking hard.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And like I spend so much time in my head. My work, I spend hours upon hours by myself in a truck driving. So there's a lot of time for my own thoughts to like eat it myself. And it's hard when you're like that to not let your thoughts like overwhelm you.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I know you probably understand that too.
Oh, I do.
But it's just like, it's one of those things, is like everything's compounded, and it's like learning to be alone and live alone and to cope with shit alone is hard.
Absolutely. Especially when it's not what you're used to.
Oh yeah.
And you, like you said, started living with her so far, like right into your 20s, to the point where, that was the time you would normally start living by yourself anyway.
22 when me and her had gotten together. So I'm 29 now.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, yeah, about 6-7 years.
Yeah, it is a long time.
So it's one of those like, it's hard, it's for sure, to adjust, but we're getting there. Things are starting to,
and it's springtime too. This is new beginnings, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, your story about the whole scam thing made me think about a couple scams that I had. And I gotta say that one of them, I don't think I really told anybody about the one. It's a crazy embarrassing, so I might as well just save that for last. But I have been scammed a couple times, and I think the most recent one was when I was managing the bowling alley.
Mm-hmm.
There was a man that came in around Christmas time and was incredibly patient waiting for a manager, and I was pretty much the only manager available at the time. So when I finally got to him, he was just like, yeah, no, I'm super, thank you. I appreciate your time, no worries about the wait. And he's like, look, man, I'm a level with you. He's like, I bowl here on a league. I'm here with my daughter all the time. He's like, that's my niece over there, sitting down at the table. And he's like, got this blue cap on. He's like, as you can see, I'm a Freemason,
Mm-hmm.
He's like, you take us for our word, So I just like immediately, because he was so polite and so kind, I already started drawn to him. And he's like, well, here's the deal, man. My car's in the lot, and I'm kind of busted here. My niece, I'm going to have her sit here for a minute, but I need to get someone to tow this out. We don't live too far away, but I need to call a tow. And unfortunately, the tow guy doesn't accept cash, and I need to have money in my bank, because they can't take cash. And I was like, oh, okay. And he's like, so I'm only like $15 short or something like that. He gave me some small number. He's like, if you just cash app it to me or something like that, I can put it into my account and I'd have enough to get through it. And I was like, oh, okay. So it was already Christmas time and I'm feeling generous, so I did it. And he's like, actually, before you do that, he's like, I think I need 36 or something like that. Changed the number, And then I gave him that amount. He's like, thank you so much. He's like, actually, I'll come right back and I'll just give you the money in cash in a moment here. But I never heard from him again. I actually filed a police report on that one. So that was like a little bit of a scam. And the police even had me go in and do like a lineup. but they weren't like standing in front of a line. Like they would give me a folder, and each folder I would open would have a different person's face. And sometimes you would open a blank folder and there was nothing in there. And I was like, yeah, there's nothing on this page. And he's like, yep, so that's not the person? And I said, no, that's not the person. And I would hand the folder back, and sometimes there'd be another one. I was scammed a time before that too, but that one has already slipped my mind. But the one that's the most embarrassing, I'll just get to right now, and this is ridiculous. So you feel free to judge the fuck out of me, but there was a time when I was single and I was really fucking feeling myself. You know, I was posting pictures of myself on Snapchat and girls were fucking hitting me up all the time, and it was great. I was feeling great and everything. And there were so many people adding me on Snapchat at the time that some of the names that would pop up would be like Sugar Mama or Sugar Bear or this or Mommy this or Mommy that. And one woman would watch my stories of me and my kids all the time and stuff. And one time she reached out to me and she was like, hey, I like what you're all about. I like, what you're doing and everything. And you're cute as fuck. I'm not going to ask like pick for pictures or anything in return, but I wouldn't mind being like your sugar mama and like kind of supporting you. She's like, I'm well enough off to the point in my life, and my husband's dead to the point where I have this money and I have the ability to do this, and you have kids, and you take good care of them, and I see that, and you're a cute man. But so long as you do one thing and you talk to me every once in a while and you keep me company and you like at least talk to me, and when I send you money, you promise you won't just like immediately delete me. And I was like, no. I was like, honestly, I need the money really bad, and I would appreciate that. Like that would help me and my kids out. Like no problem, Yeah. And like if you're not asking me to do anything weird anyway, like cool. That'd be great. She's like, so I'll give you an allowance. And I forget what the number was, but it was still astronomical compared to what I'm used to for a week or a month or whatever it was. And so I agreed. And she's like, so here's the deal. Because I do this, I can write it off for tax purposes as like a charity. So, but my lawyers need a retaining fee, So basically, if you pay me $10 or something like that, then I can say that you've paid my attorney or something. Like she explained it in a way where it was like a legal fee or something like that, where once I do that, she can then start donating to my charity, and then she can write it off for tax purposes. So it doesn't matter how much money she gives me, she can write it off. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense, like I get it. And I did that, and apparently that wasn't enough money for the fee. And I needed to give an extra 15. And I was already sketched out. I was like, wait a second. Hold on. Wait, why would I have to pay? You just wanted to help me out. You know what I mean? Like, this is kind of, now I'm double thinking this, And I was like, she's like, well, you already did this much. Like, just finish the transaction and then I can start sending you your money. And then she sent me a screenshot of the transaction. Like, her Cash App has my Cash App. It shows the name. It shows she's got $5,000 process. It says pending, And I'm like, it's pending to me. I have to accept it. But she's like, okay, it's not going to let me send this over until you complete the thing. So I sent the extra money, and then she was acting weird again. I was like, you're not going to give me any money, are you? She's like, honey, just bear with me and all this shit. And I ended up deleting her. You know what I mean? Because I was like, I know this is a fucking scam. So I did. I got ripped off by a sugar mama on Snapchat who was going to help me out. And I wasted like 4 hours of my night communicating with this woman who just ended up taking like $45 from me. Probably some guy sitting there jacking off in his mom's basement too. You know what I mean? Like,
he's like, yeah, I'll be your sugar mama.
She was sending me pictures of herself too, and she looked so ugly and normal and rich that I was just like, oh, she's an old, lonely
Probably
woman.
was just on Google, sugar mama default pictures.
I should have.
Just on stockphoto.com.
I should have known better. And then I was like, I even texted my friend at the time, and I was like, hey, or I called him too. I called a couple people, and I was like, hey, before I delete this person, do you think this is real? Like, should I do this? And they're like, no, it sounds like you're being scammed or whatever. And they're like, you really want to get a picture from her? Tell her to send you a picture with a fork. Because like you can't just Google an image of herself, that same person with a fork in her hand.
Hold a fern leaf in front of your face.
Go grab a fork and take a picture with you with the fork, and that way they have to go grab a physical fork. And, and she did not give me a fork picture at all, so I deleted her.
A fork picture.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start making default stock photos of forks and spoons. That way people have them. Just to fuck people.
Stock photos of
people holding spoons and forks.
And spoons.
Just be files.
Go grab a candlestick. Like I got those too.
Default
I've got a
Kyle, and it's just like this dude. It's like a whole photo shoot he does, but then there'll be one with a phone, like a fork and a spoon and a fucking wooden spoon, just to fucking cover a couple different bases.
Oh my god.
But yeah, no,
Scamming's real.
Yeah, so I'm out roughly $200 for the chairs, and then $500 until they gets refunded for the fraud charges there too. It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how that week has started. And on top of just my mental state hasn't been the best, that's for sure. But we get through it, enjoying another day with my dude, and
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. You almost weren't going to do this podcast because of everything that was going on, and then you had some other stuff you had to do tonight.
Scheduling things kind of got wonky because we had we weren't sure what day. Then it was supposed to be yesterday, so I agreed to do some stuff today for somebody, but then yesterday got busy for you, so we're like, "Oh, we'll just do it today." And I was like, "Yeah, no problem." And then I woke up, I was like, "Fuck, I was supposed to do shit today," so I had to fit that in. But we got it all done. We're still here, still getting it done,
which I think is important, and I'm glad we're here because we just started this and we told ourselves amongst other people, but mainly ourselves, that we were going to try to release an episode a week.
Yeah.
And I think it's fair to ourselves to give that to us, whether we got hard shit going on or not. And then that's why I posed that we would talk about it.
Yeah. And we are here.
We are.
But hell yeah, man. So definitely been cool. I said, we got our shit going on. How's the fam?
The girls are great. I do have 2 girls. I'll just disclose that because I don't care. I do have 2 girls. I'm a dad. I'm a happy father of 2 girls, a 6-year-old and a 2-year-old. She just turned 2, actually. Her birthday was this weekend.
The fact that I've known you longer than you've had her. So I was there for the whole
yeah.
When I remember when you first told me that
it was a big deal.
You were gonna have a second daughter. I was like, oh shit!
It was a big deal, and I have 2 children with 2 different mothers, which is an entirely different dynamic. It's one thing to be a father; it's another thing to be a dad, and I'm a daddy as well. I'm a daddy to 2 girls, and I'm a father to 2 girls, and I love them tremendously. But I have these children with 2 different mothers, and they're 2 entirely different women, and I'm an entirely different person myself, and so the dynamic is that not only do I have to be a good dad and a good father to these 2 little girls, I need to mediate, and I need to also be a healthy co-parent, which is not always easy. And it's my own fault and theirs as well. Oftentimes it just goes back and forth. It's tough.
I know co-parenting isn't easy. I watched my parents do it for most of my life. I was 6 or 7 when my parents separated.
Really?
Yeah.
You might have told me that before. I don't remember.
So yeah, they were together till I was about 7, and then they split, and we moved cross country. My mom and I, my family, we packed up. My 2 siblings and myself. My mom, U-Haul, drove cross country. My dad followed not too long after, lived not too far away. He was like an hour away, half hour away. We'd go, for a long time, it was the weekends, we'd go see him. So I definitely have been around the whole co-parenting thing. I said, for most of my life, they were separated.
Did they co-parent pretty well?
I mean, they got along. I mean, they have nothing, they don't dislike each other.
That's good.
It was just more of there was enough stuff, and so I've talked to him a little bit about it, but I never really got into what actually was the final straw. But for the most part, I know there was issues, but I was but part of it isn't my business. As much as it's my business, it's my family, it's still their life. It's still their relationship. So I never dug too deep into it.
That's a fair thing. Considering, I guess it would be a different situation if you were of the age of knowledgeable understanding of the situation at the time. But since you were so young.
Yeah, and again, I can look at it in the selfish aspect of, well, it affected my life. Most of my life, I didn't have you together. I want to know why. But it's their relationship.
Yeah.
And it's not like they separated and my life was horrible because of it. Sure, I didn't grow up with everything. And we, were poor, but that wouldn't have really changed too much either way.
Yeah. And you were treated well.
Yeah, so I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it sucks, but they think they handled it well. There's other aspects of that whole thing that is what it is.
Yeah.
But no, so I definitely understand. I can understand to an extent the struggle that it would be to co-parent. I wouldn't myself because I don't have kids, but I've been around enough of it to know that it is definitely not an easy thing to do.
It teaches you a lot of patience just being a dad in general. And
Maybe that's what I need. Maybe I need to have a kid to learn some shit.
I really did. I needed
a horrible
that to calm
reason to
down
have.
a little bit.
Yeah. And I still think, I don't even think calm down is as much as the word I'd use for you. I think it's more of just you redirected your energy.
I like that
I
a
think
lot.
calm is never the word to describe you.
I think you're right.
But I think you just redirected your passion for things. And like just from the conversation we've had before, I think it's less of you calming down, like I said, but you're just very passionate and energetic about everything you do, and then you just turned and aimed that to trying to provide the best life for your kids that you can. And I think it's less of like calming down, but more of just a redirection of that energy you had in you. Because I think before you didn't have anywhere to aim it, so you put it towards whatever gave you a good feeling in the moment.
You're right.
But now you have the kids that give you a good feeling. So that's what you direct everything into.
Yeah, I think that's a great assessment of that.
I think that's just, and that's just from the couple years that we've known each other that I've seen that.
Mm-hmm. It's wild to think that we've stayed so close through all.
Yeah. But it's also crazy that it hasn't
from a
been
job.
that long on top of it. It feels like it's been so much longer.
Yeah.
But it's been like 4 years now.
4 years, I guess, yeah.
Because it was beginning of 2020 when we started that job together.
But if you think about it, maintaining a 4-year friendship when you're young is one thing.
Yeah.
Because it's relatively easy to do when you're in school together and everything. But
You see them every day.
To maintain a 4-year friendship as healthy as ours is, with the level of respect that we have for one another, for 4 years, I think is something entirely different. It's on a whole nother level because we don't have schedules that really fit each other's time. We have to make the time for each other.
So I laugh when how you say like how healthy it is, because we had that. There was like a month there where it was up in the air.
I don't recall this.
You will once as soon as I remind you.
Okay.
It was because of baby mama number 2. When she reached out to me at one point and then told you that I made her uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah.
And then she tried to like turn us against each other. And I was like, bro,
yeah.
no.
I do remember that now.
And like I said, like I don't know if that was like,
But
directly.
I even honestly was not even remotely like, oh, I'm going to stop talking to Zane.
Yeah, it was just one of those like you called me, you're like, what the fuck is happening?
Did
like,
I not tell you to start talking to her at one point or another too?
Yeah,
I think I did. Even.
Multiple
I was
times.
like,
It's been
just distract her from me for a while.
But it was just like at one point you like she I guess had like messaged you or called you and you called me like, what the fuck's happening, bro?
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know, dude.
You're right.
But like that was like the only time at any point where like I felt like there was anything like at all. Other than that, it was just like it's always been, sick. There's just that moment of like, what the fuck is happening?
I'm never gonna mention my kids' moms' names or anything like
That's
that.
why
because
I purposely
I know.
or their names.
And I will just say this. Let me just disclose this. I just want to say this for the record. I respect as much as I have differences and I disagree with certain aspects of their lives in certain ways. I respect them both, and I think they're incredible mothers and women for doing what they've done and bringing those kids here. And the fact that they're still in their lives and the fact that they've picked themselves up through all of their own bullshit the best that they can in the current situation, I commend that, and I'll let that pass.
Yeah, and that's the other thing I said, like when I talked about my ex that, 6 or 7 years, like I won't ever say bad things because everyone's going to have their disagreements on things. And like some, may not understand some of it too, but it's like in the grand scheme of things, she's fantastic and she's going to fucking go much further in her life than
She's very driven.
She is fucking driven. But again, so like names won't be too mentioned and shit with that, but we have nothing against any of them. It's just
Sometimes two people don't work out.
yeah, it just wasn't the right time So it is what it is. But we move on. It's like I'm still friends with with her. We still talk on a pretty regular basis. Keep up with each other. Her family
you help her
is
out occasionally from time
her
to time.
her family is as close to me as most of my closer to me than some of my family is to me. So, like, I literally saw her parents and nieces and nephews today because I had to stop there to get some stuff because I'd done some work for them.
I think I'm getting the same hiccups you got.
I drank soda too fast.
I did. I don't really drink pop a lot, but now that I'm it'll get you. It'll grab you by the goose,
especially with how much we're talking. But yeah. But anyway, yeah, that's the catch up for the past week for the most part and some backstory stuff. But you got anything coming up, man?
Well, my brother's getting married.
When's that?
Oh man, I wish I could just spit the date out for you, but I can't off the top of my head.
Is it like
it's coming up? It's this year.
Oh, nice.
It's this year. It's within 6 months. I can say that. And it's something that's been postponed once or twice, not for any we're not sure we want to do this type of reason, but just because of scheduling and making sure everything's perfect and wanting everybody to be
that's a big day.
It's a big thing. It's a huge thing. And I'm really proud of my brother. I absolutely I think it's great.
Anybody that can coerce somebody into spending the rest of their life with them
it's magical.
It's magical.
Really. You have to really hypnotize the person.
I can't even get someone to return a text, let alone spend a life with me.
It's quite an art, I'm sure. But so that's coming up. Nothing crazy, man. Just getting back into the swing of work. I will say, when I came back from Disney World, which I went to.
Yeah. How was that?
That was unbelievable. So I only took my oldest daughter because she's really only the one that's gonna
be able to truly remember it,
and let alone not have to be carried the whole time.
Yeah, and I hear so much about people, but oh yeah, we went to Disney for the baby. I'm like, the baby's one.
Mm-hmm. That baby will never fucking remember.
What did that baby do? Other than sit there and cry because every mascot scared the hell out of him.
How many rides did you take your baby on?
Yeah. Was this really for them? Or was it you used them as a reason for you to go?
And that's what I think it is.
And would you have had more fun if you had found someone to babysit while you went?
But it was amazing. And it was to be able to spend that time with my dad and my brothers and the women in their lives and my niece and my daughter was unbelievable.
Hell yeah.
And my dad's wife's the one that put it all together. She just did a tremendous job of setting it all up. We had passes to get on everything. I didn't realize at Disney World you have to schedule the rides ahead of time. It's not like, you buy a ticket to Disney World and then you just walk through the park and you can go on the rides. Mm-hmm. No. If you want to go on a ride, you need to schedule it for a specific time.
You don't have to, but otherwise you're waiting in line for hours.
Forever.
So you don't have to do it.
You'll go on.
But if you want to make it, you pay for the passes and plan ahead.
You scan. Yeah.
You pay the extra so you can save your time. Otherwise, you'll get 3 rides into the day because you spent 2 hours at every ride waiting in line.
We stayed in the Grand Floridian. We had a suite with 3 rooms that were all connected to each other with 3 separate balconies. It was life-changing, and it was a really good time. But when I came back, I will say I even had to Google it to make sure it was a real thing. I felt so empty and so depressed.
Yeah,
it's just
because you're coming from such a high.
Oh, it was so high.
And then you just crash.
And everything in that park is designed to make you...
Yeah, it's the land of happiness. Mm-hmm. But you crash it's like a slump.
I felt like fucking shit.
It's a Disney slump or something like that. Yeah. It's you literally you go from such a the highest of highs, and especially sharing that moment with your kid. I'm sure that was the pinnacle. But then I'm sure you came back.
But it wasn't even a stressful experience for me because what can be
you weren't in charge.
I didn't have to pay for anything.
Everything was planned, prepped. You just had to go be a part of it.
I just had to go.
You got to be the kid in that experience. Outside of making sure your daughter was...
Yeah, it was so amazing. But then, God damn it, when I got back, dude, I felt like someone sucked the life out of me.
Because you were there for, what, a week?
Well, I was there for a total of, the flight was a Monday morning. Spent all day Monday there, Monday night, all day Tuesday, Tuesday night, all day Wednesday, Wednesday night, all day Thursday, Thursday night, and then Friday for the majority of the day.
So 5 days, we'll just say.
You know, for 4 or 5 days.
I mean, the whole trip though was like 5 days.
But the I was off the day before the trip. You know, the Sunday before. I was off 2-3 days after.
It's just
so I knew, because I knew I was like, I'm gonna need 3 days, 2 days to recoup from this.
So you have, you figure you got at least 4 straight days of watching your daughter have the time of her life.
Yeah,
knowing that you don't have to worry about it for that time. You get to see the greatest thing in your life having the greatest time of her life.
Oh, it was. And
then you come back, and I'm sure because of how long you were gone, she probably immediately went back to her mom, so that her mom could have time with her. So then you immediately went from
the day after with her to kind of.
Yeah, but then you probably went from all your family, her, everything to sitting at your house by yourself.
Yeah, and it was tough.
Like I said, that's like the highest of heights, and then it's over.
Yeah.
It's like I completely can understand that.
So I've passed that, and now that the weather's been nicer, I've been hopping on the skateboard again, and I love it. I love it, but God, I am so sore.
I'm sure. I'm fucking sure.
I'm so sore, man.
I've been. So like my new route, like this town I go in, it's like pretty much all on hills. And like I move a lot of stuff. Like, yeah, I got dollies and pallet jacks to help, but like a pallet jack only helps so much. And like, like if a pallet's 1,500 pounds, you pull it on a pallet jack, it's still heavy to pull. Now pull that across a parking lot and not concrete floor.
Is it a electric pallet jack?
No.
Though? Oh, it's not.
It's a
Okay, because to me, in my job, I'm using the tuggers, which are pallet jacks all day long.
I can get one, but for the most part, they don't help in a lot of places I'm at because they'll get stuck.
Really?
So if I can pull it there, if I can use the electric pallet jack, but also not everything we have is on the full skids. We have half skids. And the electric pallet jacks are too wide.
Yeah.
So I have to use like that. But like even the big ones, like they're 1,500 pounds sometimes.
You gotta roll it up.
And I gotta roll it like up a hill, like a block or two to the store where I'm delivering it because I can't get my semi to that any closer.
Yeah. You don't have to unload it, do you?
Oh yeah, no, I unload everything.
You have to take it all off too? All the boxes apart? Unpack the pallet?
Yeah, I have to downstack the pallet into their area where they want their boxes at.
Oh, you're fucking kidding me.
No, and so like the average truck has anywhere from 18 to 20,000 pounds of freight on that truck. You're looking at because like then we do milk, say I take milk in as long as like the ground is somewhat level for the most part. Like up and down a hill's fine. Just potholes and stuff can really fuck you up with the milk stacks. I'll do 2 stacks of milk crates. So 10 crates usually.
Have you ever been delivering something and then spilled?
Milk? Oh, yeah.
Really?
I fucking drop milk crates all over the place.
What do you have to do in a situation like that?
You pick up what you can. If it's inside, you clean up the mess. If it's outside, you just kind of fucking laugh and go about your day.
Did they have to write it off or something?
You just tell them. They're like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
Because they drop shit all the time, too. They're just like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll be delivering and a milk crate will already have like a pinhole in it from when it was getting packaged. It's already leaking. I just like, hey, this one's got a hole. I dump it out, and they're like, okay, it just is what it is.
Yeah.
But a stack, like a crate of milk, you figure like a gallon of milk is 8 pounds, right?
5, I think.
I thought there were 8.
Look it up. This is where we're gonna do stuff behind the scenes.
Yeah. I'm not gonna pull an image up for this because it's just looking up a number.
Yeah,
but
there's really no need to do all that. So in the meantime, I'll serenade you with a melody.
Oh God, I'll hurry up. I'm sorry, guys.
Don't really want to keep doing this, but I've
8.6 pounds.
8.6 pounds.
So a gallon of milk is 8.6
My
pounds.
whole life is a lie, dude.
Water is 8.3, so a little less.
Oh man, I've been going by the whole don't lift more than 5 pounds. Okay, gallon of milk. Don't lift
No.
more than a gallon of milk.
It's about 8 pounds. But so a crate of milk has 4 gallons in it.
Do you
I
know
do
what
10
that-
stacks of crates, or 10 crates in the stack. So it's 320 pounds that I'm pulling and pushing up and down.
Do you know what that hole is on the side of the gallon of a milk? It's not really a hole. It's just a circle, and it's like indented, and it's pushed into the milk. So imagine looking at a gallon of milk.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Do you know what that is?
I don't, but I know there's not all of them have it.
No, not all of them do. So it's used for a couple things. Apparently, it's used for like surface density and stuff like that, to the point where, like, since you want your milk to be super full, rather than have like air in the milk, it prevents your milk from looking like it's not full. But at the same time, too, it also helps you decide
Volume
and
and
determine
stability.
whether or not it is,
It pops out.
if it's spoiled.
Yep.
Yeah.
On the milk pops out. Fact check. And the indents on the milk jug are help control volume and stability.
Mm-hmm.
So it's less about that.
So it's
So
less
it-
about the spoil and more about it helps control
Yeah.
the volume.
So like
stability.
that's like the common like wives' tale of it.
is that it would help with the spoil.
Yeah. But the fact check is that's not actually what it's for. They're there for, one, it adds a different shape to the wall, so it adds a little bit more structure to the wall,
Uh-huh.
and it can get you more actually to a gallon. If they left it out, it'd be a little bit more than a gallon,
Okay.
and it leaves less room for air and shit.
That makes sense.
Which I'm sure it does pop out if it gets really. But I've also had plenty of milk that was bad that didn't pop out. Because it also depends on like.
I kind of wondered why they were shaped the way that they are. Is that also just for?
But I've seen like because with the delivering of milk and stuff I do, I've seen so many different shapes of gallon jugs. Like
Yeah.
there's ones that are like almost a perfect square, and the more rounded ones, the typical ones you find at the grocery store. Like I've
Yeah.
seen all sorts of different shapes and stuff.
You're a gallon of milk jug connoisseur.
Pretty much like I'm pretty much like you might as well just give me the degree of
Milk jug
gallon
aficionado.
yeah, milk jug aficionado.
This week's episode of Milk Jug Aficionado.
Here we have a late '90s design. From,
Ooh, that's crisp.
this design here, you see, was only ran for a couple months.
Hints
So they
of
found out
nutmeg.
that the seam right here on the handle of the jug would actually break on a regular basis and leak milk everywhere, which actually is a real fucking thing.
Really?
Not about like the time frame, but we have one of the companies we get milk from, how they make their jugs. The seam where the plastic joins is on the handle, and it's like, so it's not a very big seam, and you'll pick up that sometime. It'll just break at the seam, and milk will just go flying.
What a
everywhere.
wonderful design.
Oh yeah, they did nothing about it.
Good. Good.
But yeah, so like I'm probably in my best shape currently that I have been since high school because of all that I've been moving and running around and doing. What are you looking for?
My marijuana.
Oh, the other one?
Yeah.
Is it?
I don't know. Sometimes my things disappear on me. I can search.
Yeah. But yeah, so I feel like I'm in the best shape, and you're talking about how like you're tired and stuff, dude. Some of those days after the route, I'm cooked. Like
Yeah.
I like because I stay in a hotel one night and I sleep in the truck another night. I'm like dead some days, especially the my Friday route. I'll get to like where I'm parked and like because like my Wednesday Thursday route's a box truck, so I don't have as much stuff I'm delivering. It's just more driving. But the
Do you have a
Friday
favorite
one,
day of the week.
well, not really a favorite day. I mean, but it's just Friday has the most shit I deliver. So I'm doing full deliveries to 5 stores. That's all sorts of stuff. So it's the biggest workout day, the most effort I put into a day.
Yeah.
And like some days it's fine, but like as it starts to get hotter outside, dude, I'm gonna be dying. Because like when
I'm
it's like
always in a
chilly,
cooler or
like
a deep
60s
freezer,
or something, like 50s, 60s, like the cool air kind of helps to like keep me cooled down while I'm doing it.
Yeah, you have to deal with
if
whatever
it-
the temp is outside.
Yeah, because I'm outside. So like the one store, I walk like 3 blocks to get to the store because that's as close as I can get my semi to the store. And when it starts hitting like 80, 90, bro.
It's kind of wild that you could deliver to some place where you can't even get your truck within 3 blocks.
Because
of the
they
place.
were built and their old delivery company used to deliver in like box trucks because they were more local. We deliver from hours away.
Really?
So we haul semis because we do anywhere from 7 to 9 stores per truck. So we have a lot of shit.
That does sound like a lot of stuff. I had to take my ears off for a little bit because I was starting to feel like I was condensing into myself.
Good. Maybe you need to. You look inward.
Yeah, a deep soul search.
But yeah, so it's been a pretty eventful week. And so, but you've been busy with work and then
Yeah.
having some good times outside of work.
Just hanging out with the girlfriend and the kids and working and skateboarding now that the weather's nicer.
Yeah,
Reading a lot
postponing
still.
our recording sessions because of his girlfriend, things like that.
Yeah, little things here
No,
and
I
there.
definitely understand wanting to spend time
Yeah.
and stuff like that, and it's like I can't blame
Well,
you.
she
'Cause-
just moved into a apartment for the first time too. I mean, even as a nurse in her 20s, living with her, she was living with her parents for this whole time in order to
Yeah.
save money, and you're able to save
Yeah.
quite a bit when you don't have.
yeah, but
bills.
it's still a matter of.
So then she's
you-
finally
you
just
just-
moving in herself too.
I can't blame you
that
that wanting to spend time with your girl. If I had one, I
Oh,
would.
yeah.
I was only a little salty. That's all. It's fine.
I feel pretty blessed, man. I feel undeserving of this girl, but I'm gonna just keep going with it and love her the best I can. And I really do. I've lucked out.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't salty when you're like, I'm actually gonna spend time with her. I'm like, fuck, God
Yeah,
damn it,
I'm
bro.
sure you teared
Bros
up a little
before
bit.
hoes, man. Hey, you're not a hoe. I know you're watching this. You're not a hoe.
You're
It's a
not.
saying. It's a saying.
It is a saying.
It is a saying.
That the bros before hoes is a real code. There's actually several parts of the code. Like it's not gay if you have socks on.
Or if you don't make eye contact.
Yeah, if you don't look at each other in the eyes, that's not gay. And even if it was, gay's okay. But anyway, no, the bro code is a very to get on a serious note about the bro code. The bro code's a very serious thing, and a lot of people take it incredibly seriously, don't they? Like overtly
Yeah,
serious.
I almost started a solo podcast because of it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, I might as well just start doing this by myself.
Might as well go fuck myself.
I read that message and he was like, actually, I'm gonna try to spend time with the girl. I was like, well,
Oh,
I might as well go fuck myself
well, you're
then.
fucking dead to me.
Like I read it and then like it like morphed in my eyes to go fuck yourself is actually what it said. But no, I'm happy for you. I'm glad you are, happy where you are with her. And
I've
stuff.
never really been good with healthy relationships, so this is a huge deal for me, and I'm sure I will fuck it up.
The question with relationships is not a
fucking
matter of
ugly,
fucking it up. It's how you both handle that.
Yeah, handle.
Because everyone's going to fuck up. It's a human almost constant of the fucking up.
Yeah.
It's part of the human experience. But
They don't tell you that though when you're born. They don't say, "Hey, just so you're aware."
Yeah, you come out, you're like, welcome to the world. You're going to fuck up.
And I still, I've talked to my kids about, picking yourself up when you fall down, but I have not yet been like, "Hey, just so you're aware, your life is literally designed to kind of like test you. Like you will be fucked with."
And like, that's not even like a religious thing. It's just a real life thing. And like, I talk about Bill a lot. Like, it's like you're going to get tested and like the universe will test you. And they're like, oh, that sounds like some like religious shit. I'm like, it's not religious shit. It's just
There's a difference between spiritualism and religion. Religion is something that you...
And I don't even think of it as a spiritual thing of like the universe testing you. It's just a fact. It's just a natural thing. The world tests everything. It's part of the fucking idea of, the fit, surviving is if the world and nature and the innate forces that may be, whether you want to call that spirituality, whatever, are going to push you. And it's just how you answer and bounce back from it. And that's just what it is. Like, call it spiritual, call it fucking
And I think our
whatever.
perception of everything is one of the most crucial aspects to whether or not you are going to be happy.
Yeah. And that's the big thing is mindset is like mind over matter, I feel like comes into play so much more than like what a lot of people use mind over matter for like physical shit. But I also look at it as like a mental thing. Like mind over the actual like being able to mentally get through the shit going on around you. It's like, yeah, mind over matter. Oh, this workout's hurting me. I don't want to go do this. No, you got to get up and do it. It's like typically what people talk about mind over matter with.
Yeah.
But I look at it as like, I don't want to fucking, get like, I'm not going to be able to get through this. I don't know how I'm supposed to get through this. This shit is fucking too rough. And it's like, no, just get up and fucking do it.
Which isn't essentially the same thing.
It is, but everyone always does it with like a physical, like, oh, your body's hurting, you gotta go. I'm like, no, my fucking brain hurts. My heart hurts.
But
my will to want to live hurts.
Just as an addition to that, not just mind over matter, but your perception of an event is critical. For instance, even two people that run into each other every day that don't like each other. Let's say, for instance, person A hates person B. Person B is sort of indifferent. They'll just go to work or do whatever they have to do running into him no matter what, and just knowing that they're going to run into him, and they're not going to let it ruin their day. Whereas person A knows they're going to run into him, and then immediately upon seeing person B every single day, is no longer able to function or is immediately pissed off or lets it ruin their entire day. They know they're going to run into him anyway. They know they hate the person anyway, but every time they see him, they allow it in a way to literally affect them so much to the point where it ruins their day. Whereas person B is just like, well, I'm going to run into him. I don't like him. Okay. But like, I already know this is going to occur, So it's like if your perception of it is wrong, it's just going to ruin you forever.
Yeah, and that's definitely an important thing. And like I also look at it as like how you get through shit. So like for many years after my oldest brother passed away, I like couldn't function if he was even mentioned. Like I never learned how to like cope with grief. So for years, like I'd be okay. And then if like the thought of him came up or if someone mentioned him, I'd just break down. And I like couldn't get through the rest of my day. Cause like I never came to any sort of like closure with it.
Yeah.
I was 14 when he passed away. I was old enough to understand what happened, young enough that I couldn't do anything about my relationship with him. So I felt like I never had a chance to really know my brother. And I like held like a resentment and like a point where like I didn't know how to like how am I supposed to move on if I never had a chance to know him. So for like years, like I'm talking 10 plus years, I like couldn't talk about him. I couldn't think about him. And then as I got older and I did therapy and things, and I started learning more about like just like learning how to come to grips with emotions and shit like that. And now like a picture that's on my desk is him. That was my oldest brother. One of the few pictures I have of him. And I can talk about him. I can see his picture. It's still like if I really start talking about it and like thinking about it, like I'm gonna get sad. I might cry and shit. But like I used to like not be able to function when it was brought up because like I had never came to any sort of closure on it. And but like I said, like I shifted my thought process with it and learned how to understand it a little bit better. And like this part of it, you're never going to understand when something like that happens. Because that was suicide. So there was never a why, Like if someone like some of my best friends, like I had a best friend pass away from a disease and from leukemia. Another one passed away in a car accident. And like there's like it sucks. You miss them, but there's still here's why.
You know what happened.
And like you may not understand why that happened to them. And like at that point, like, you know, when my brother passed away, I was still like involved in church and stuff. So it was one of those like, why God, why would you do this? I don't understand. But like when he took his own life. So then you don't know what was going on in his head. You don't know what was going on around him. I was too young to have had much of a relationship because he was much older. Like his daughter is my age. Like my niece is my age, married, has kids. So like within 6 months of me. Like that's how close we were in age, me and my niece. So he's that much older. So me as a 14-year-old, he never lived with us. So to have a relationship with him was hard for me because I couldn't just go see him.
Yeah.
My other brother spent time with him because he could drive there and go see him and could hang out with him. But like I never got that. So like a part of me was always, you know, kind of held that too. Like every time I'd hear about him, it reminded me that there was a brother I never had a relationship with.
Oh, yeah.
So it was just like, it was anger of him being gone, but also like that missing out feeling. Like what could have been in our relationship and things like that.
And asking yourself that over and over again
For years.
Gonna fuck with you even more because there's not a goddamn thing you can do about it.
Yeah. And so like I'm in a better place with it now. And like I said, like I have that picture.
Yeah.
And like of him here, and I also have a little figurine that sits on my desk that used to be his. My dad gave it to me a couple of years ago. I was at his house, we were talking, sharing stories about my brother. My dad went upstairs, he came down, and he goes, this was your brother's. And he gave it to me.
What's the figurine of?
It's a little eagle. It's like a little like I don't know what material it is. I'm actually gonna grab it real quick. So you can talk for a second.
Yeah. I'll hold the fort down here and keep everybody safe and listening to my voice while you grab this. Oh, that is an eagle. Let me see this. Is it metal? Oh, it's heavy.
Yeah, it's like some metal of some sort. It's like a casted iron thing or whatever.
Do you know where you got it?
I have no idea. I don't know the story behind too much of it, but I just know he always had it with him from what I was told. Which is why, like, when I was doing, like, live streaming and stuff on Twitch, like, my logo for a while was an eagle. And, like, my gaming name was his nickname. I adapted his nickname into my gamer tag and stuff like that. But yeah. It's pewter.
I was trying to read what the bottom said, but I couldn't make it out.
Perth pewter.
What is pewter?
It's a metal.
Oh. I'm not familiar with my metals as much as I should be.
Superior Models who made it. Yeah, just a little eagle. But like that used to be his and shit. And so like I've learned a lot. Still, you know, it's never something that just goes away, but you know, I've gotten better with dealing with that. But again, I had to shift my whole mental thought process on it. Because otherwise it literally like would destroy me every time it even got brought up. Like I was a 20-something-year-old man who couldn't handle his emotions. If someone brought it up, I was just done. And I knew like I had to get that under control.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to feel pain over something, and it's another thing to let that pain consume you.
Yep. So, but yeah, we talked about a lot of deep shit today.
We did. We definitely did.
No DS porn watching conversations.
There was a lot of, this one was slightly serious.
A little bit more, personal, but, it's good.
It is. It's, whatever comes up, although we we might as well talk about what just happened we don't really plan this at all.
Yeah, we don't really script it. Like we might be like, I do want to talk, like if we have something we want to talk about, we'll like mention it to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, like I'd like to talk about this.
Yeah.
So
Just
we
like
try
today.
we try to find a way to like eventually steer the conversation towards something we might want to talk about. But 90% of it is just whatever comes up.
Mm-hmm. And that's important too, because ultimately that's what we wanted.
Yeah.
And so you've been updated a little bit about what's going on. You see that we are sitting in the same old chairs, and
unless something changes
I don't want to
drastically
hear
in the
any
next
shit
week or
from
so.
it because we're both feeling some type of way about it already.
So yeah, unless something drastically changes in the next week or so, we're probably going to be in these chairs for the foreseeable future.
Don't expect a new book out of me next week either, because I'm just going to take my time with this one.
What do you mean, man?
I don't know. We'll see where it
We
goes.
want the weekly book report. No, but it's cool that you've been reading that much and shit.
Yeah.
I just been watching a lot of documentaries. So
what's a good one? What's the number one that you've seen right now?
I just got done watching the history of pirates or something like that.
Really?
It's on Netflix. It was a whole documentary about like
Always liked pirates.
the starting of pirates to like Blackbeard's death, which was like considered the end of the golden age of piracy.
We romanticize piracy a lot.
Yeah, I mean the whole Pirates of the Caribbean like movie, which is something's funny. So if you talk about the area of like the Bahamas and stuff, what do you call it?
The Caribbean. Right?
Yeah, so it's the Caribbean.
Uh-huh.
Say the title of the movie.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
But most people say Pirates of the Caribbean. They
Pirates
actually
of the Caribbean.
Yeah, but they pronounce it different when they say the movie usually than they do the area actually.
Pirates of the Caribbean. Pirates of the Caribbean.
Most people say Most people don't say Caribbean. Because I mentioned it
As
first,
if it's different.
so it was in your head already.
Yeah.
But if I had gone the other way, you
Pirates
probably
of the
would.
Caribbean, yeah.
And then you think of the area, it's the Caribbean.
The Caribbean.
But like, I'm going down to the Caribbean.
No, you're right. It fucked our whole ass for even just like all of a sudden, oh, it's a movie. Oh,
That
the
was brought up to
Caribbean.
me by
Pirates of the Caribbean.
yeah, but in reality, it's the Caribbean.
Fucker was drunk.
But
the
no one
whole
goes,
movie.
yeah, I'm gonna go
Don't
watch
act
the
like
Pirates of
it's
the Caribbean.
fancy.
They're like, no, I watched the Pirates of the Caribbean. Like it's
Yeah.
just pronounced different. Good Hollywood fucking shit over. But yeah, but it's been a good
Thanks for joining us again.
yeah. We'll get this out. The other channels and stuff, working on editing, ran into some editing issues with the other short form
Asked was
content.
the other one. It's No with a 1, ASKD, and we edited for like 2.5, 3 hours, and we
Together,
only
and
got
then I
45
edited-
minutes of editing actually done in the amount of time that we've
No, we had a 45-minute video. We edited maybe 20 minutes of it in that time.
and the hours that
And then I edited another 2 hours worth of shit. Another probably 15 minutes of it.
and all the editing got deleted.
And I saved it, something in the file corrupted, and the save didn't save right.
So that's why we haven't posted anything on the other channel.
Yep.
So don't think, oh, it's a fake channel, because it's not.
It's just struggling. I'm learning to
We're
edit. I'm
just
learning this. I'm
struggling
learning
also.
it. But yeah. But brother, it's good. Good to have another week with you, bro.
It's always good to be here. It's always good to get on.
We'll be back next week,
Yeah, we will.
unless everything burns down.
No,
And
no deaths.
I'd say death, just burn down.
No burning.
Oh, burning? Damn, I like burning. But we'll be back. Appreciate y'all again. Make sure you guys, follow the podcast if you're listening to it on whatever platform you're
Please just
listening
like
to.
it and follow it, even if you don't like us and want to follow us, because I need the help right now.
Mentally, he's struggling.
I need
because he's not seeing all the likes.
I need the confirmation that I'm a decent at my job.
But yeah, so make sure if you guys are listening on whatever platforms, we are getting onto more platforms. Still waiting for platforms like Apple Podcasts and things like that to get that all good. But we are on Spotify and things now.
We are on Spotify. That's true.
So that's all it's all dope.
If you don't like looking at our faces, because we rarely dress up for you, and I even told you I'll look my best for you next time, and I just went and skated. I haven't even showered. I was skating for 4
thought
hours.
about putting a blazer on just as a joke because we said we were going to look our best.
How bad do I smell?
I haven't noticed at all. So
Really?
you're fine.
Thanks for lying to me.
But yeah, so we'll be back again. Appreciate y'all. And yeah.
I love you.
One more episode down. We were Definitely more on the serious side of the slightly serious stuff today.
We were slightly serious.
But we're back and see what next week has to hold for us.
Say hello to your mother for me.
Tell somebody you love them.